don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some ditties. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to run. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome guys, Miss Liz in the house, and we have the final 2 of July for 2026. That's right, season 7. Can you imagine we're going into August next week? I can't believe that we're already there. But before we get started, you guys know how Miss Liz rolls. We're going to get you guys over to all those platforms: Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Clapper, Lemonade, all those good platforms, and then pop over to the podcast apps: Podbean, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, Deezer, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check those all out. But I want you guys all to jump over to babyboomers.org. Miss Liz has been partnering with them for almost 4 years. And if you're looking to be on different podcast shows and you'd like to pitch your story or your books or services there, jump over there. They have over 50 different podcast shows there, and they're always looking to have guests there. So check them out. Always like encouraging my colleagues and get them some clients over there as well. Get them some guests and cool talks. But before we get started, let's do a disclaimer, and then we're going to bring in Mandy Eve-Barnett, and we're going to serve her tea. And her tea is an interesting tea tonight. So we're going to talk about Thematic of Love, Evolving and Awareness, and Ensure My Storytelling is Immersed by Everyone. That is the tea we are serving in the house tonight. So it's going to be an incredible tea. So let's get started with disclaimer and then a beautiful intro, and then we're going to get Mandy in here, and we're going to spill some tea and have some fun with all of you guys today. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz's Tea Time is a global platform dedicated to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content brought forward during any Tea Time show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Tea Time platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guest viewers and participants are responsible for using their own good judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners' and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Tea Time at Miss Liz is an open discussion forum designed to offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of your discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly on my email at bookymissliz@gmail.com or visit my link tree at Miss Liz's Tea Time. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Ms. Liz, welcomes you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your wishes and decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Tea Time with Ms. Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Well, welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz, where every conversation reminds us that stories can cross borders, connect generations, and give our deepest emotions somewhere meaningful to belong. Today, we are delighted to welcome Mandy Eve-Barnett, Edmonton's best-selling multi-genre author, freelance writer, editor, creative mentor, inspirational speaker, and dedicated writing community advocate. Born in Africa, raised in England, and now living in Alberta, Canada, Mandy's life has been shaped by different landscapes, cultures, and experiences. Through influence flow through her storytelling, allowing her to create imaginative worlds for children, young adults, and adult readers alike. Since publishing her first book in 2011, Mandy has written across genres, refusing to place creativity inside one tiny little box. Her work reminds us that writers do not always have to choose a single path. Sometimes the most authentic journey is the one that follows curiosity wherever it leads. Her book, Willow Tree Tears, explores love, loss, resilience, and the emotions that quietly shape our lives. Like the willow tree itself, its message carries both tenderness and strength, reminding us that bending through life's storms does not mean we are broken. Beyond her own writing, Mandy is deeply committed to encouraging other writers through editing, mentoring, speaking, and her work within her writing community. She helps creative voices develop the confidence to shape their stories with the world. Her T is thematic love, evolving awareness, and ensuring her storytelling immerses everyone. Today, we'll explore the inspiration behind Willow Tree Tears, writing across multiple genres, how love, loss, and resilience influence storytelling, building imaginative worlds that welcome every reader, supporting and mentoring other writers, creating a meaningful literacy legacy. Mandy reminds us that stories do not need boundaries when imagination, empathy, and purpose are guiding the pen. So grab your favorite cup and join us throughout a conversation filled with creativity, courage, community, and real life tea, truth of experience and awareness. And let me get Mandy in here. Let's spill some tea. Let me see. I got Mandy here. Do I got Mandy?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
There we go. We got you. I'm telling you, my ears sometimes they just glitch and then they come back on, and I'm just so happy to have you here, Mandy.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
I am happy to have you here. I've been looking forward to this tea time. We've been both excited to get together. So, yeah. Mandy, tell us a little bit about who you are as a little girl and who you are now.
Oh, goodness. When I was young, I was quite shy. So I was sort of always in the background. But as I grew and had some life experiences that were sort of push and pull as to, good and bad, and I sort of became more self-confident and determined. So now I'm the polar opposite of what I was as a child. I'm very determined and I'm very fierce in, making people understand who I am and what my mission in life is, I think. So yes, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy my community, and I'm very passionate about helping others now.
So Mandy, you found your voice.
Absolutely.
From shy to roaring lion, here she comes, guys. Get ready for the story. Well, so Mandy, let's get into your writing. How old were you when you started writing?
Well, let's just say I was almost 50. So yeah, quite late in life. For whatever reason, all the creative outlets I had, school and growing up, none of it was writing. Everything else you could think of. And then I came to Canada and I wanted a creative outlet. And I just stumbled across the writing group, went for a meeting and really enjoyed listening to everybody. I didn't write anything. I was just listening to everybody. And then I thought, if you don't write anything, why are you here? So then I sort of propelled myself to get into it, to start writing, and like very short, couple of paragraphs or a page, and gradually grew from that. And I was really lucky because everyone in the group is very supportive and encouraging. And I'd learned, I went to conferences, I did workshops, just so I could learn the actual skill of writing and how you, not just the grammar, and it was more about structuring a story, beginning, middle, end. And that's really how I sort of grew as a writer, to grab from everybody's experience and like tailor make it into what I needed for my writing voice.
So Mandy, you came from you were born in Africa, then you moved to England, then you came to Canada. So tell us about that journey within itself. Right before we even get into the books, we're going to get into how she came from Africa, England, Canada.
Yeah. Well, my parents were actually living and working in South Africa when I was born. So it was just an accident of birth, shall we say. I mean, I just that's where I was born. And then we went from there to Wales, and then from there into England. And a lot of my life was in England, and I loved not just the flora and the fauna, but the history. I mean, I miss the history dreadfully. So, I mean, you've got something like Stonehenge, which is, so old, up to sort of manor houses that are sort of 17th, 18th century, and you've got churches from the 12th century. And I absorbed all of that. That was something that I found really interesting, and partnered with that was the natural world, because both my parents really wanted us as children to understand, not just the big animals, but the little ones, like, the beetles, and, that it was something from insects up, just learn about them, learn about the trees and the flowers, and that's been instilled in me, and I've instilled it in my children. And then life happened. So we immigrated to Canada, and that's been a huge journey. I mean, it came in 2007, so it's been a while now, but I was not expecting the difference. You think somewhere because you've read things, research it, but you can't understand the vastness of Canada till you're here.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky, because one of my writing group friends loves to do road trips, and from 2010 to current, we do 5 or 6 road trips a year. And we go through Alberta, British Columbia, and some of Saskatchewan, and that's just a tiny piece of the continent. Like, it's so small. And I just love learning about, this new home of mine, which is vastly different to what I grew up with. And all of those experiences I can culminate and take pieces out of for my stories.
That's exactly why I went down that rabbit hole. I told you, Mandy, I was going to go down some rabbit holes with you. I was going to ask you, did you put some of those journeys and those adventures and that into your storytelling from all the different countries that you've lived in?
I have. I mean, when you've got sort of soul deep experiences, things that really registered with you at the time, these are going to be something you can use, for making a story, well, a narrative, feel real. I've got a fantasy series which is set in medieval England. Well, I've touched medieval things, and I've walked through ground halls and things, so I've actually felt it. I've actually found something that resonates with me that I can then put into a book. And that's why I think when you're writing, you have to be conscious that although you know what it feels like or what it looks like, you have to make sure that your reader actually gets that same information.
Absolutely. Well, we have a question here for you, Mandy, and it is, did you ever imagine your writing would reach readers across so many countries?
Absolutely not, no. I mean, it's very cool, because my blog has a little world map counter on it, and up till now I've got about 209 countries that have been to my blog, which is super cool. And I like the fact that my stories connect with people no matter where they are in the world, because they've all got a basis of love. It may be not just romantic love, it could be friendship, it could be sibling or parental, or just the environment. And that's my sort of base core of all my stories, is a love of something.
Absolutely. And working with so many different genres as well, right? Gives you a chance to dip your toes into different ways of expressing and writing and structuring a story. What genre do you really prefer the most? The
last one I've written. So it's literally, I love to challenge myself, and it's like, so, well, can I write something like that? So I'm a steampunk. It's like when I looked at steampunk, it had just become popular. I thought, well, I'm going to read a few of these and research it, and then, oh, let's see if I can write one of those. And it's really just a personal challenge to see, can you do that? Obviously, you have to research it, find out the expectations and what it should include and all that. But it's seeing how I can create a world within a genre, and that's the fun for me.
Well, we have a question here from Step Into the Valley. Which of your 11 published books holds a special place in your heart?
Oh, that's so difficult,
Yeah,
because
it's
I
like
love
picking
them
babies,
all.
right?
Oh my goodness. I would say that normally, the one I've just finished or the one I'm writing are special, but then I can go back to them and think, well, I really enjoyed that character because of a certain thing. I know this will sound awful, but I quite like the villains in my books because they are, you've got such a character. They're flawed, they do things you think, oh, that's awful. But I enjoy writing them because it's an opposite of me. And I think, let's dig deep into their psyche and figure them out. So I would say that most of the women in my books I enjoy, because I make them very strong and determined, and that's a reflection of my personality, I suppose. So they hold a special place in my heart.
So, Mandy, is there a character that is you in your books?
Oh, I'm not going to admit that.
She's not.
There's parts of me in all of my characters, regardless of genre, gender or anything. There are snippets of me, because you have to utilize what you've experienced in your life, how you've reacted to something, and you think, well, my character will react this way because that's how I would react, or they've got a personality quirk. I think, well, people have seen that in me and I can put it in a character. So I don't think any writer can say no character in any of my books is me, because that's not true.
So, Mandy, if they read one of your books or all 11 books, would they be able to pinpoint you in those books?
Oh, they'd have to know me really well. I mean,
so you have to have tea with her. So you have to understand.
Absolutely, because there's certain things that people close to me will figure out that's part of you. They figure that bit out, and there's other things that are deep dark secrets that I'll never admit to that are in the books.
This is why we're having her for tea, guys. Well, we have a comment here. I just want to read it out to all the listeners. I love that you support new writers while continuing to create your own stories. That's truly inspiring. Mandy, what is it about supporting new writers for you?
Well, because I received so much support and encouragement, and now I'm sort of further on in my career, and I've had the experiences, and I've learned so much. I want to pay it forward, basically, because why am I keeping it as I'm not a gatekeeper. I would rather have my experience given to someone who's on the beginning of their journey. So when I host our writing meetings, if someone says to me, I'm really struggling with this, that, or the other, I say, well, send it to me. I will look at it, or we can sit down in a coffee shop and talk about it together, whichever works for you. Because as a community, we're not in competition with each other. We should be helping each other.
Yeah.
And that's really my goal.
Absolutely. If we support each other more, there would be a big, huge difference in this world.
Absolutely.
You know, let's just take out all this competition and let's just have some fun and share together. Because, you know, when you sit and you have this conversation, you open ideals and you open opportunities for somebody who might not even know that that opportunity is within themselves.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, we, as writers, we all write differently. We've all got a certain way of doing something, you know, constructing a, you know, because although people say you're probably a pantser, I like the word free flowing instead, because the words come out, you know, as a flow, and I just type them. And other people are like very, you know, they've got a regime. So like, this is what I have to do. I have to write, you know, index cards, or I have a huge inspiration board, or whatever it happens to be. And I mean, I do use other tools, and a lot of my work is like just free flow, and I don't plan it at all. I'll just go back later and do all the edits. But sometimes I've had to do planning, and that's another learning curve. It's like, okay, I've not done this before, so how do I approach it? And you just ask a couple of people that you know do that sort of regime, and say, right, how do you start something? I mean, I've got a crime trilogy that is on the back burner, but getting there. So I had to make sure that through 3 books, there was an arc, but each book had an arc. And then I had to make sure that the last book solves the problem from book 1, and had to do a date from the last book and backtrack to the first book. So there was planning in it. And other ones, I just go with the flow, and there it is.
You know what? That's the best way sometimes, is just go with the flow, because when you go with the flow, you have the most fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mandy, out of all of the 11 books that you've written, which one was the hardest one to write?
In terms of actual narrative construction?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't think I've got one that's really, really hard, to be honest with you. I think because my brain works that as I'm writing, I'm seeing it as a movie. And sometimes if there's something that needs research, that will just hold me, obviously, for a little bit. But I try and just put like a little tag, so, you know, insert here. So that I don't like pause myself, and then I get a hiccup and think, oh no, where was I in the story? So I really believe that for me personally, it's easy just to go into the narrative, follow where the characters are leading me. I mean, sometimes they take me in completely different directions, which is the fun of writing, obviously. And then you go back, you know, an hour later and think, why did we go this direction when I thought we were going this direction? But you know, you can't force it. I think you have to like let it lead you where it wants to lead you.
You know, and a lot of listeners who are not writers will not understand that the characters take you on a journey without understanding the journey. And you're like, sometimes I wasn't even going that way. Why are we going there? Like, you know,
yeah.
And you go down that way and you're like, oh, interesting. But I still wanted to go that way.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that with my steampunk, I mean, it started as just a short story when I was in a writing retreat, and all we got was the title Toy Maker. So I wrote about 7,700 words on a toy maker. And I just put it aside, and it stayed aside for a long time. And when I went back to it, I just thought, I'll make it a small novella. So I'll write up to the story I'd written, and, you know, from that to the end. Well, that didn't happen, because my main character said, this is about me. It's not about
you.
the toy maker at all. So that's where I went. I went with her instead. But you can never really predict where it's going. You know, you can plan some things, but it doesn't always go the way you plan.
Absolutely. It's a real Alice in Wonderland being a writer. You just never know where that white rabbit's taking you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we have a couple questions coming in for you, Mandy. From Thrive Time Show is, how did growing up in Africa, England, and Canada shape your storytelling?
Because of the sense of place, they have sort of given me like a base to start from. Although I wasn't in Africa for very long, there are senses of it. There was the heat and the smells and the sounds. So they're sort of like a core thing for me. So I can utilize that in my storytelling. England is just such a vast catalogue of places and experiences, because I lived there, you know, a lot of my life. And then Canada is like I'm an explorer in a new country for me. So having new experiences and new places and new lifestyles, that gives me an extra, you know, catalogue to sort of add things to.
Get yourself into a little trouble. We have a question here from Ross, and it is, what keeps you motivated after publishing so many years?
Because I've got so many stories in my head. I'm sorry. I mean, I've got 9 back burner manuscripts, which is ridiculous, you know. And I just think, oh, I'll get back to them, and then a new shiny thing says, what about me? Why can't you write about me? So that's where I go, and then I think I must get these done. I have to go back to these, you know. And the one that's getting published in September, I mean, I started writing it in 2015. So it's, you know, sometimes, you know, it's not right. It's not the time to put it out in the world. So leave it there, let it sort of germinate. And I you know, I go back to them occasionally and say, let's see what I can change and revise, and, you know, what I've written, is it enough, or does it need more work? And then that's I just get a sense of when it's ready to go. I don't think that's a sort of instinct thing. You know, I just think that's the one that is shouting the loudest, so that's where I'll go.
Well, it's kind of like making jam, right? Preservers, you know, or pickles. Yeah. Don't eat those pickles until 2 years from now.
Exactly. Their time will come.
Right? When I make beets, my kids are in them right away. I'm like, no, let them sit. Like, but they're like, Mommy, they're so good. I'm just like, no, they need to sit. The longer they sit, the better they'll be.
Yeah.
And that's how storytelling is, right? When we let it sit, sometimes the characters build and gives us a different structure, a different storyline, a different scene as well of looking at stuff. You know, when you just put something on the shelf for a while, it just says, I'm just steeping, right? It's like tea, like we're just steeping it, like.
Absolutely.
Well, Mandy, we have this question, and then I want to get into your book, The Willow Tree Tears, and I'm going to get you to hold it up. But we have this question. What advice would you give someone writing their very first book?
Okay. Find a group, get feedback, get support, get encouragement. Once you think you're happy with it, get someone to read it that you trust, that is, you know, hopefully a writer, not just, you know, family. And then if you can, go to workshops or conferences, you know, just to learn your art, and be very conscious of how you're writing and making sure that you have a voice. It takes time to find your voice, but initially you should be writing the way you feel is right for you. Don't try and mimic someone else. just be your individual self. And then once you've had the feedback, you can work on it again. And just make sure that your story reflects what your mind conjured up.
You know, and we're giving so many good pointers out there for anybody that's choosing to write their first book or jumping into the writing. Like you said, you got into it in your 50s. You were a late bloomer. Like you got into it, but
Yeah.
Mandy, what got you into writing in the 50s? Was it you were just sitting around and you're like, I'm going to do this writing thing?
Well, I think it's because we came to Canada just before I hit that date. And before then, you know, as I said, I did lots of things, sculpture and painting and everything else you can think of. And because my children were older and it's like they didn't need me, I thought, well, no, I can spend some time in a creative outlet, because I find when I'm creating, I'm happiest. You know, I don't know if everyone feels that, but for me, it gives me a relaxed, calm place to be mentally and physically. And just because the writing group was so supportive, I just clicked with them all, and it just sort of gave me such a sense of self, and, you know, knowing that my creativity could go that way. I mean, when I looked back on it a while back, there was elements within everything I did before that I then put into my writing. So, you know, I'm weaving a story, I'm constructing, you know, I'm sculpting a place or a setting. So they've all worked into what I do now. But I think for me, writing is like the ultimate creativity outlet for me. And obviously life experiences, I mean, I've got a lot of those, so I use them in my writing.
Well, Mandy, let's talk about the book that that Mickey sent me, and it's Willow Tree Tears. Tell us a little bit about that book.
This one?
If you can hold it up and just tell the audio listeners what's on the cover and all that.
Okay, so these two people, this is Lucio, and this is Madison, and she's a champion barrel racer living in Alberta, Canada. And she's had not a very good high school experience because she's different. She lives on a horse ranch. So most of the time, you know, she's done mucking out and grooming before she's gone to school. She hasn't got, you know, the aesthetic that everybody thinks she should have because she's female. That's another bugbear for me. But anyway, I digress. And her high school experience was some bullying, and then this one young man decides that he will protect her from the bullies, and they have a really good close relationship. And subsequently, after school, he becomes foreman for the ranch, and he thinks that she and he should get together, but she doesn't think of him that way. She's very fond of him, but it's not a romantic feeling at all. Anyway, the last rodeo of the season, she bumps into Lucio, who is a very suave, very good-looking Italian man. So that's part of me, if people are thinking about it. Anyway, they sort of start this relationship, but of course, Colton, who's the foreman and friend, doesn't like that. So then it becomes a very sort of conflicted relationship between the three of them. And of course, Madison is thinking, why on earth would I spend my life with someone that lives in Italy and only comes for business here, when I've got someone that knows my life, knows how we do things, you know, and I've got history with. So she's trying desperately to find balance but knowing that her heart wants Lucio and not Colton.
The Italian boy, right? You know, there's
Yeah.
always that three-ring circus, right? There's always
Yeah.
the bad boy, the good boy, then the girl.
Yeah.
Or it's the opposite, right? The good
Yeah.
girl, the bad girl, and the boy.
Exactly. But I mean, we've all experienced it. You know, you've got two people vying for your attention, and you're thinking, okay, which way am I going? Which direction should I be going in? And it's difficult because you're either led by your heart or you're led by your head, and never the twain shall meet because they both have a different opinion.
How many of you out there listen to your head or your heart? The heart always gets burned. I don't know, man.
It does cause difficulty. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely, right? So how did you get the title of this book, Willow Tree Tears?
Well, because I love willow trees anyway, but willow trees, they do, you know, they're called weeping willows in America. So I wanted something to resonate, not only for the fact that it was the name of the ranch she lived in, but it reflects how she's going through this turmoil of emotions. And she will, you know, think, well, you know, she lost her mother, so she's only got her father. So it's significant in that way. It's significant that, you know, maybe she should not do anything about going off with this handsome chap and just not, and knowing that it's wrong, and just trying to think, you know, traditionally I should stay where I am, but the excitement and adventure is pulling me. So the actual title reflects a lot of different things for Madison and her life.
So, Mandy, if you could hold the book up again, do you have a willow tree on there?
Sorry, I missed that.
Do you have a willow tree on the cover?
Willow Tree Tears, yeah.
Yeah, is there a tree on there?
Yeah, well, the thing is, because it's not highlighted, there are streams down.
Okay.
You can hardly see it, but it's because of I wasn't allowed to do the cover. It was the publisher did the cover, because my idea of the cover was slightly different. But you know, sometimes you have to go with what your publisher thinks is best for the genre, and so I just thought, okay, go for it. But most of my books, I have an artist that I work with, and I say, this is what I want. Can you make it happen?
Well, that's the thing, right? A lot of people that don't know the writing world, they don't know that the publisher, you know, will have ideas or tell you that this cover that you think should be good is not good. And they take you down these rabbit holes and you're just like, but that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But then it sells the book, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe they understood the story a little different than I did because I was too close to the book. Like,
well, you're so absorbed in their world and their personalities that, you know, sometimes you get, you know, blink a vision on it. So yeah, I mean, as long as it sells and people enjoy the book, I'm happy.
So, Mandy, how do you create all these imaginative worlds? Like, did it come to you in dream visions? Do they come through movies or shows or other books that you've written and read? Like,
one thing you don't know about one thing you don't know about me, I don't have a TV.
Oh, well, that's a good start, guys.
So
that gives you a lot of time to play up here.
It comes out of my head. But then again, you know, I love writing prompts, whether they're visual or text, because that's how I learned how to write. You know, just getting something and going with it and thinking what pops into your head and just write it. So prompts I love. Sometimes there's dreams. I had one book where I had a dream which was very specific and vivid about a young girl throwing herself out of a window. And you're thinking, whoa. And that's in one of my books. But I don't know where it came from at all. And then the book that's coming out in September is 3 true news stories, and they're really bizarre, really oddball. And I just utilized parts of them and incorporated it into a book. So I mean, ideas can come from anywhere. I mean, I mean, one of the things that really I wanted to do for Willow was that, I mean, as an English person, the only time I saw cowboys was on the TV. And then when I came here, the real cowboys, so I'm driving past a ranch and they're out there with the cattle. So I'm screeching to a halt, this is the highlight of my life. And I'm thinking, we're just working. I know, but for me, that's really special, and then going to a rodeo. I'd never been to a rodeo. And it's super cool. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a way of life that I have no idea about. And I was lucky with Willow because I connected with a real champion barrel racer, and she helped me with all the technicalities of the race and everything. So, you're learning about things all the time and experiencing things all the time. And that's, that's all this information that you keep as like little treasures, and then you can use them later on.
So, Mandy, what is it about cowboys? Is it the cowboy hat, the cowboy boots, or is it all the package?
Just a cowboy. Because they're out there on the ranch on their horse, and I'm just thinking, oh, this is super cool. For
my listeners out there, if you're into cowboys, what is it? Hats, cowboy boots? Is it the whole package? Like, as little girls, we always think of a cowboy coming and rescuing us, right? Or a good guy in a uniform coming to get us. But in Willow Tree Tears, you put in an Italian boy. So do you got something for Italians too?
Absolutely. Yeah, when I was in Italy years ago, oh goodness, there were so many good-looking men. It's like, oh my God. And I follow an actor at the moment who's Italian, and I'm just obsessed with him. He's just the perfect representation of Lucio from my book.
Oh.
If it ever got made into a movie, I'd absolutely. I don't care who else you have in the movie, but he has to be the Italian, because he's just the epitome as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of putting any of your books into a movie?
I would love to put them in, but I mean, I haven't got that far yet. I'm busy doing so many other projects. It's not funny, but anyway.
Out of the 11 books, if you could choose one, which one would you put into a movie?
Well, if I could get my Willow Tree and have my Italian actor, then definitely that one. But I think if push came to shove, I would like my steampunk, The Commodore's Gift, because it's a very strong, determined woman who's in a male-dominated world, and makes so many changes, and then they understand that without her, they wouldn't have got the result. So that's a good movie to have.
Well, Mandy, we're 2 months away from September, and you said you have a book coming out in September. Do you want to put a plug in for that book a little bit, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's as I said, it was. I used 3 true news stories. They're all very bizarre. And it's about a young man. So it's suspense and coming of age. And there's an incident that makes him do something remarkable. And through the book, he goes from sort of a very bullied teen who thought that his life was ended, and that he would never do anything, to someone totally remarkable that not only transforms his thinking about life, but also people that, eventually he reconnects with. Yeah, and it's called The Giving Thief.
Oh. And do you have a date when that one's coming out?
5th of September.
There you guys go. We're giving you 2 books for the price of one tonight. Willow Poetry, tears, and the giving thief.
Yeah.
Well, Mandy, I got some questions that are coming that I have here for you that I'd like to just get out really quickly.
Sure.
Some little lightning bolt questions. So, favorite book you ever read?
The book that I reread all the time is one called Fernie, and it's by a gentleman called James Long. He's not an author. I mean, he was a professor, and he just wrote Fernie as a whim. And then 10 years later, he did a follow-up because so many people wanted it. But Fernie is about a reincarnation couple. And I love reincarnation. In my past life, I was a nurse, and I had several experiences with people who foresaw what was going to happen to them. And I got into huge research into reincarnation. And when I read the book the first time, I'm just thinking, Fernie and Gally are just perfect. I just love them. And the story now, when I even thinking about it, I can picture them. I can picture exactly the places they walk and talk and live, because I know the book so well. And my Choose Some Loot novel is like an homage to that because it's got reincarnation in it. Yeah.
Is there any reincarnation in any of your books?
Yeah, just the Choose Some Loot. Yeah. And that book is 2 time periods, the 1800s and the 2000s.
Oh.
And it's 4 people that reincarnate across the time. Yeah.
Well, that's 3 books I'm giving you guys to check out.
No. Everyone's scribbling down. Oh dear.
All you have to do is go to the website, guys.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Okay.
Mandy, morning writer or night writer?
Anytime I get time, writer. Yeah, literally, because I'm a freelance writer, so I have clients I have to work for. I post my blog twice a week, which everyone thinks I'm a maniac for doing. I'm secretary of my writers group, so we have things I have to do, and I host the monthly meetings and post prompts on the website every Saturday. So I have a lot of things I'm doing.
So she's a writer all the time.
All the time.
Tea or coffee for you, Mandy?
Oh, absolute tea. I'm British. I would not have coffee. I don't like coffee.
Favorite country you visit, not lived in?
Italy. Rome in particular.
Ooh.
Yeah. When I went there was like a deja vu. And I mean, I would love to get regressed again because I think I lived there at one point. My last regression session, there were 7 doors, but I could only get through 3 before the session ended. So I think in one of those other doors, there was an Italian.
He was waiting for me, but I didn't get to the door.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it.
It's like walking through a castle, right? What door are you in?
Absolutely.
One word that defines your storytelling, Mandy.
Sorry?
One word that defines your storytelling.
Unexpected. Because I like flipping the switch a bit. I like flipping things. So what you think you're reading gets flipped around a bit.
I like it. I think you guys should all check out the 3 books we just threw out, plus the other 8 books that are out there. There's 11 books, correct, Mandy, that you have out there?
At the moment, yeah. Yeah. But they're across genres. So there's children's, young adult, and adult. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's get into some of your children's books, but we have a question here that I just want to get out. It's from Mark, and it has mentoring other writers changed the storytelling?
In some ways, yes, because when someone is just beginning, their approach might be something totally new. And, I love to learn new things or new ways of doing things. So when I mentor, you know, I can say this is how I do it, but please don't think that's the way you should do it. And then they'll say, well, this is how I thought I should be writing. I said, well, that's the way you should be writing. Don't change it. But then I find, you know, something quite interesting and new about how someone else approaches it. And I think that's just the learning curve that you have as a writer for as long as you're writing.
So, Mandy, let's talk a little bit about your children's books. Like, how many children's books do you have out?
I've got 2 little children's books. Do you want to see the covers?
Absolutely.
This is Rumble. It's just a picture book. It's the first one I ever did. And Rumble is a little monster, lives underground. And his mother says, you're old enough now. You can come with us to scare the people on Halloween. And it's just his adventure learning how to scare. That's easy peasy. This one, Huckleberries to the Rescue, is really an homage to my parents and how they instilled a love of the natural world into us as children. So it's 2 magical sprites, but they look after all the animals in the forest. So if they're ill, or they're damaged, or they've hurt themselves or whatever, the little sprites help them. So each chapter is a different animal. So it's a way of the child learning about the animal, but also within the story. So you're teaching them something.
Giving them something to learn as they read.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, that's important, you know, to have something in a children's book that will give them information and something that they can enjoy without realizing that they're actually learning.
Absolutely, right? That's the way of tricking them.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a pretty book. Read the book. Yeah. You're gonna learn.
And these 2 are YA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Clickety Click is about a young girl who is orphaned, and she goes to live with an aunt and uncle and finds out that she's not what she thought she was. And it's about self-worth and self-acceptance. So yet another lesson. Okay. And then Creature on Planet Toria is about 4 friends on a different planet who set out to find what they thought was an invading alien, but then they find out it's not invading alien at all. It's something entirely different. So, yeah.
Look at that. We gave you guys a bunch of books. So if you're not buying at least 1 book today.
Oh, God.
Mandy's going to be like, oh, my goodness.
Oh, jeez. Oh, well.
But that's the way it is, right? When we have a conversation, we get to know and we get to share this information, right? And that's what I like. I like teaching educational awareness through tea. And a lot of people that tune in, they always say, Miss Liz, you always teach us something. Well, sit down and listen.
Exactly.
I got a good strong cup of tea here. And the tea that you gave me today was the thematic of love. I've never heard that word, thematic. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, thematic? Because it's, the thing is, people, they automatically think romantic love.
Yeah.
And it's not, because love encompasses so many other things, not just people, but things. I mean, you know, you love your cup of tea. I mean, I'm a teaaholic, but had it in my sippy cup when I was a kid, you know. So yeah, you love things because they give you a feeling of calmness, relaxation. You just feel good, you know. So loving encompasses everything within everyone's world in one way or another.
Absolutely. And the next part of your tea that you gave me was evolving and awareness. Where are we evolving?
Yeah, well, I think as we grow, we learn lots of things from lots of different people and situations. And I think if you're not learning, you aren't evolving. I mean, I'm totally different from the 12-year-old me, from where I am now. And you're not the same person. Your life gives you things that change you, that give you something to think about, something you thought, well, maybe if I do it this way, it will be better for me. If I do it this way, it might be better for someone that I love. So you have to evolve as a person.
Yeah. There's so many people that talk about evolving without growing. If you don't grow through involvement, you're not really, evolving. You're just playing the circus wheel, right? You're just going in a circle. Miss Liz, where are you going with this? I don't know. Down the rabbit hole. I think I'm having a hot flash too, guys. I'm getting really hot here.
But I mean, you're not stagnant, are you? No one is like, you're not a statue, so you're going through the world and you're meeting new people, and every single person you meet will have some sort of effect on you, good or bad, but it will have an effect. And it's looking at the effect they've had and if you can use it or not use it. And that's the evolving part.
Yeah. Well, the last part of your tea was ensure my storytelling emerges everyone. So tell me a little bit about that part of your tea.
Well, I think for me, I accept everybody, regardless of gender or, wherever, because I've been on different continents. I have experienced, known, and been friends with a huge varying people, and everybody has a voice, everyone has their personality, and it's finding the connection with those people. I mean, obviously there are some people you think, no, I can't be with that, I can't do that, and that's fine. I mean, you can't be good with every single person on the planet. I mean, there's 7 billion of them, you're never going to meet them all, but you can pick and choose who makes you feel loved, wanted, respected, and do the same back. And then, if there are people that are just not going to be that way with you, then you just say bye. And you don't have to be nasty about it. You just say that, we're just not of the same mindset.
Yeah.
And that's good too. If we were all the same, life would be very boring.
Absolutely. Hey, there would be no excitement. And then that's why there's no TV for Mandy.
Exactly.
So Mandy, if you could spell out your website for the audio listeners and the listeners that are watching right now, and give your final message for tea time.
Okay. So it's MandyEve-Barnett.com, MandyEve-Barnett.com. And you'll find my blog on there, my books on there, events I'm going to on there. There's lots of stuff. And I just want people to feel that I'm approachable, that if they've got a question about something, you can just drop me a line, and I'm really happy to answer any questions. And I really love meeting people in person. That makes what I do in isolation really, really worth it.
Well, thank you so much, Mandy. I really enjoyed this conversation with you and sharing your books and your stories. And I want to thank all the listeners and viewers that tuned in and brought in your questions. I could not do this without all of you guys. Just a quick recap of what today's tea time was, and then we'll be back for the last tea time of July with Edwina, and she'll be sharing her story called The Colors of Love. The Colors of Love, I think, is the name of her book. But
Okay.
we'll be talking about that tonight. And until then, I will do this all over again, and we'll be back at 7 p.m. But just a little recap of what today's tea time was. What a wonderful and creative and heartfelt conversation we've had and we've shared today. Mandy, thank you for bringing your imagination, determination, experience, and generous spirit to the tea time table. Today's conversation reminded us that creativity does not always travel in straight lines. It wanders, it explores, it crosses genres, countries, age groups, and emotional landscapes. Through your writing journey and Willow Tree Tears, you have shown us that stories can hold both sorrow and hope. They can honor what has been lost while still making room for growth, connection, and new beginnings. We explored multiple genres of writing, imagination, resilience, creativity, confidence, and the importance of building communities where writers feel encouraged rather than isolated. One of today's greatest takeaways is this: a writer's voice becomes strongest when it is allowed to grow beyond expectations and follow the stories that generally call to the heart. Mandy, your work reminds us that writing is not about producing books. It is about creating connection. It is about helping readers feel seen. It is about encouraging other storytellers to believe their words matter too. As we close today's tea time, I'd like to leave everyone with this thought. What stories have been quietly waiting inside you because you believed it did not fit neatly into one category? Perhaps it was never meant to fit. Perhaps it was never meant to open a door that did not exist before. Mandy, thank you for sharing your creativity journey and for continuing to nurture writers, readers, and stories without boundaries. Until next time, continue following your imagination, continue creating from the heart, and continue serving real life tea, truth, experience, and awareness. And today's takeaway from Miss Liz is, like a willow tree, we may bend beneath the weight of life's storms, yet our roots can remain strong. Through creativity, connection, and the courage to keep growing, even our tears can nourish the stories that help others feel less alone. And I'll see everybody at 7 p.m. and we'll do this all over again.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Mandy.